Checkpoint is presented by GM Pharma, the first international multinational pharmaceutical company in Georgia. GM Pharma, to serve those who need it most.
Georgi Aronia will give us more information about the cover boys in his very interesting conversation.
Hi there. Cryptocurrencies, blockchain and NFTs are modern-day buzzwords. While the Web3 industry and all that comes with it is a relatively new global phenomenon, many details are still unknown. Even though the West is still wild on the Web3 territory, we the media, business and governmental agencies are very interested in everything that Web3 technologies have to offer. Today I will talk with the Georgian pioneers of the Web3 industry, Tbilisi-based 2.0. NFTs, transmedia and Web3 storytelling, code foundations for crypto gaming and other immersive experiences are areas 2.0 has been exploring and will continue to explore in the future. 2.0's latest project, the Island of Artemis, is a first-ever anonymous, conversation-driven and role-playing metaverse world in which everyone can be their true self. What is going on the island of Artemis and where did the idea come from? To answer these and other questions, here with me are the co-founder and chief executive officer of 2.0, Zura Sharashenidze, and chief innovation officer, Levan Khomeriki. Greetings, gentlemen. It's a pleasure to have you here at BNG.
Thank you for bringing us here, George.
Guys, let's begin. Zura, how different is the island of Artemis from different metaverse experiences such as Roblox or Decentraland, for instance?
Oh, I would say ultimately extremely different, because if still there are people that see that metaverse is like Roblox for kids, Roblox for adults, I'm sorry. So, Island of Artemis is definitely it's not for kids. So it's for adults only. And for those who can pass the third-party KYC and prove that they're 18 years old, so they could enjoy the experience. So to say in one word, correct me if wrong, Levan, but overall, the concept and the big idea is the Westworld series by HBO and everything that actually the hero of Anthony Hopkins was offering there, but now brought to on-chain experience. Am I wrong? Or is it close?
Yeah, no, that's pretty much it. Like, it was kind of third experiment on an idea what the absolute freedom gets, where the absolute freedom gets you. And like you needed some components that Web3 answers perfectly, like you need actual economy, so you need real incentives, like real money. When there's real money on stake or real fame, but added like anonymity, and we came up with the concept such as like voice mask, which masks your voice. So it's not like a robotic voice. It's like we're working on technology that just makes your voice different. So you have this absolute anonymity, and that's where game starts. So it's like a huge social experiment on an idea of what would you do if you could do anything.
Correct. Social experiment is, I guess, the very much word that fits the concept. So overall, Artemis is a metaverse world. An on-chain experience. I would say an on-chain game where nothing is banned, nothing is illegal, freedom is absolute, and so are the consequences.
So how different is the island of Artemis from different AAA games, for instance, such as GTA or the Red Dead Redemption, apart from it being on blockchain?
Yeah, sure. I mean, first of all, it's a massively multiplayer game. So it's an online virtual community where each character represents a real human with his real motives, real agenda, maybe who's trying to deceive you or I don't know, flirt with you, or so it's, in an essence, it is GTA, but you know that there's real humans and real money on stake and real real reputation, in-game reputation on stake. So yeah, in a sense, it is a game GTA, but
with what makes different that all the games just offer, I mean, a very, very certain plot and the missions and quests that you have to follow in order to grow up or in order to gain something, or in order to achieve something. But what we offer is a themed park. So that's why I compare it to the Westworld by HBO. So if that park really existed, it appears that some guy like the character of Anthony Hopkins came up with an idea. So here's the environment, and you know the rules that you can hit the robot, you can do whatever you want with the robot, and he will never hit you back, or she will never hit you back. And that we can call a kind of a half-baked world with only an environment and absolute freedom to do whatever you want. And the same here, and that's what makes it different from games. So we won't have any mission or any message that you should do this or you should do that. So what we're doing instead of it, we will be telling the story within 30 chapters for longer than 12 months. And we'll be telling the stories as a certain use cases to deliver such experiences that people can go through on Artemis. But then you just appear on an island which is themed, and there is a very certain way of how people behave because that it should match the theme, but the rest is absolutely up to you.
Yeah, I would add that, like, on the flip side, like, not having some missions gives you freedom to, every player freedom to invest as much time, get as invested as he likes. Like, he can casually visit like once a week and go to like some, I don't know, like karaoke bar and do a stand-up comedy, which you wouldn't have done in real life. Or like try to play this Game of Thrones in clans and try to climb up the social ladder of clans and invest, like, live in the game. So it's, I mean, it's up to you how much you want to be invested in, how many things you want to invest in this game.
Before we jump into investing, I want to ask you, what is the theme of the world on the Artemis, or what is the setting? Or is it a mix of different settings, different cultures that people can see?
Oh, that was a topic of big fights at the office, but still, however, we nailed it down to the ancient Greece with some mixed, ancient Greece mixed with cyberpunk style. Because our argument was that if the world ever knew absolute freedom, so I mean, I think that ancient Greece was the place. As far as I remember, if we believe in mythology, that there were people fighting with gods for freedom, that nothing happened like this after that, ever. So I think it deserves, when you're speaking about absolute freedom, your idea deserves to at least look like ancient Greece.
So, Levan, getting back to your point, how viable is the island of Artemis as a business opportunity?
Yeah, good question. I mean, it's literally we're trying to emulate like real world business opportunities. So there's like gambling. So in theory, you could purchase some share of gambling revenue from in-game. So like you don't even have to play the game. You can just buy the NFT and know that every dollar lost in-game generates some percentage on your NFT. There's like mining business, fishing. So basically everything that keeps economy, like in-game economy, rolling. And since there's real money at stake, everything that would have generated income in real life is transferable, like perfectly transferable in-game.
Okay, let me add a few words. So let me jump off the topic first. For a few seconds, so what actually problem we had with metaverse worlds in general, or the metaverse? So the problem I had with the metaverse is that actually I always thought that metaverse was a virtual part of our lives, like we have physical part of our life and a virtual part of our life, which is an added value to our physical part. But what we got instead was a replica of what we do in the physical world. So if we talk about the most known metaverse worlds, honestly, all they are offering now, all they were offering during this bull run a year ago, was so much common in physical world. Shopping malls, well, we have shopping malls. Gambling, well, we have gambling. So they were like too much focused on replicating what was known. And honestly speaking, that's also normal because we saw that back in the era of Web3, where all the websites looked like brochures or some of the print materials. But what's strange was that everything was everybody was too busy to replicate the physical world when they could go, or we could go, utterly creative and doing something absolutely new to bring that thing which is an added value to a physical world and not just replicating it. And in that sense, when we started working on this island project, first we saw that, okay, if it's an island, then we need a certain starting point or a focal point for the economy. So it should be clean and clear. So that we came up with an idea of unobtainium, and we intentionally took that element from Avatar movie. People know that and doesn't mean anything. It's not a brand name, but it's a very interesting name. So the focal point of the economy of the island of Artemis is mining of unobtainium. Okay, so then we have clans. All right, the clans are ruling their own territories. And now we need some businesses there. And we thought that, all right, so we're going to do the NFTs. And we're going to do 4,486, right? 84, all right, NFTs. And all those NFTs are business proposals. I mean, they're not just NFT. I even say, honestly speaking, they're not NFTs for those people who are actually collecting NFTs and holding them in their portfolio and just scrolling through them and feel happy. No, they're business proposals, and even it doesn't matter what will be drawn on them or printed on them. I mean, the visual is not the key point. The key point that each NFT gives you a license or an opportunity to run either a ready-made business, such can be an Android sex shop. I'm sorry, but that's the place, the core economy of the passion district of the island of Artemis, which is also a replication of what we see in Amsterdam, but basically that's not, at least it's a different kind of replication, not the shopping mall there. So, another NFT might give you an opportunity to build your own business just on a land, and so forth. But each of them is just an opportunity, an investment proposal, not just NFT that is done for kind of digital art or something like that.
So there are different types of NFTs, if I'm right, that give different rights to people that invest in the island of Artemis through...
Absolutely. Just imagine that the most expensive NFT could be an NFT that grants you a right to be a part of, to gain a share of the revenue from all the financial operations that are happening on the island, from the Bank of Artemis. Another NFT can grant you a right to own your own shop or run a ready-made shop in some of the districts, or a mining block that gets unobtainium, and so forth.
There is a lot of uncertainty in Web3 world and a lot of unknowns. Why did you choose Web3 as your medium? And why not do a regular AAA game, for instance, for PC or any other? Why put game on blockchain instead of doing just regular non-Web3 game?
Look, basically, blockchain, Web3 was the first possibility to get all the real life, to make the economy run. Basically, if you don't have actual money, if it's not instantaneous, if you need to add some third party, like some virtual money, or it just doesn't work. It's not flawless, and so Web3 and the idea of ownership, that's the big part. Like, first time in the history of internet and the humankind, it's possible to own some digital assets, and that was quite an elusive part throughout the whole history of internet, 30 years, and there were some rudimentary attempts, like Sony doing some DRM license geography logs and stuff, but now you can actually really own private property, like virtual property, like really own something, sell it, buy it, rent it, etc. And that was that missing piece that was not possible before the Web3, and it was like the perfect last puzzle piece that just gave us the whole picture.
And my last question is about your last project, the ongoing Island of Artemis. What is the timeline for it? You know, what should people interested to invest in it, interested to play expect, and when?
Sure, I think you made the
So we actually had the roadmap on the website, and it will be quite a slow burn project. So we're not in a rush, not at all. We're not interested in having a provoking hype, and nowadays it's impossible to provoke hype after all. And provoking hype and having 10,000 of people on Discord which have no idea where they are and just want a token then to flip in 5 minutes. No, that's not the way we're going. First of all, the drop of NFTs is scheduled for September 2023. So we have quite a long run to go before we make a drop. And till then, we're bringing a playable demo on the web for people to feel the look and experience what we are speaking about. And before that, I think in January, we'll be having a drop of 750 whitelist tokens. We call it early bird tokens or the Beastborn tokens. That will enable people to reserve the whitelist spot on initial mint, and the amount they will pay will be reduced from the purchase amount at the mint date. So, I mean, it's quite a long run. So we're only in the beginning. That's why we have only one channel Discord, which is called Prologue, nothing more. We just want the people to get in and ask right questions and understand what the world of Artemis is about.
Well, good luck to you guys, and thank you for being here and taking my questions.
Thanks for keeping tech in trend, George.
Of course.
Thanks so much.
The Checkpoint is presented by GM Pharma, the first international multinational pharmaceutical company in Georgia. GM Pharma, to serve those who need it most.